Today, we're diving into two major stories that are making waves: the Middle East's massive investments in AI and President Trump's bold moves to try to cut prescription drug prices. At first glance, these moves seem unrelated, but together they paint a picture of shifting global priorities and economic strategy. Let's break it down. Starting with the Middle East, Saudi Arabia has announced a staggering $600 billion investment package. While a significant portion of this is earmarked toward defense, a notable share is directed towards technological advancements focused primarily on artificial intelligence. They're collaborating with companies like Nvidia to deploy 18,000 of their latest Blackwell AI chips, powering a 500 megawatt data center. This move positions Saudi Arabia as a formidable AI player. Meanwhile, the UAE is not sitting idle. They've committed to a $1.4 trillion investment package over the next decade, focusing on AI infrastructure, semiconductors, and energy. One of the standout projects here is the Stargate project, a collaboration between the UAE's MGX, Microsoft, BlackRock, and recently acquired by BlackRock Global Infrastructure Partners. This initiative aims to invest $100 billion initially and then scaling up to $500 billion to power AI infrastructure build-out in Texas. These investments signify a significant strategic shift for these nations, aiming to diversify their economies from oil and become leaders in technology and innovation. Now, switching gears to the US, President Trump has signed an executive order aiming to drastically reduce the price of prescription drugs. The most favored nation pricing model mandates that Medicare and Medicaid pay the lowest prices drug makers charge in other developed countries. This policy could potentially lower drug costs by 59 to 90%, impacting both public programs and privately insured patients. Initially, this announcement caused pharmaceutical stocks to slip as investors anticipated reduced profit margins for companies such as Pfizer, Merck, and Eli Lilly. However, the stocks rebounded later in the day. Now, why the turnaround? Analysts suggest that the executive order's vague language and anticipated legal and enforcement challenges contributed to the investor optimism. The policy gives drug makers 30 days to negotiate price reductions before the Department of Health and Human Services sets reduction targets and initiates negotiations. Failure to comply could lead to additional measures such as tariffs. This delay in enforcement reassured investors, sparking pharmaceutical stocks to come back and rally later in the day. Now, you might be wondering, how do these two stories connect? Both highlight a global shift towards technological advancement and global restructuring. The Middle East investments in AI indicate a move to diversify its economy and reduce their reliance on oil while trying to position themselves as a major tech player. On the other hand, the US is trying to tackle domestic issues such as healthcare costs, aiming to make prescription drugs more affordable to their citizens. These actions reflect a broader strategy of nations reevaluating their economic strategies, focusing on innovation, and trying to address their most pressing domestic concerns. For investors, it is crucial to understand these shifts as they can have significant implications for global shifts and industry dynamics. That's a wrap for today's breakdown. The world is shifting rapidly, with nations making bold moves to secure their economic futures. Like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown, and as always, subscribe to stay informed.